Hey everybody, it's Papyrus, and welcome back to another installment of White Lives Matter. While North Korea and Japan have their whole nuclear arms thing over Guam, Charlottesville, Virginia is having a civil war between the community and the white supremacists. I haven't looked into the details of it, mostly because the details are obviously, there have been 3 reported killed so far and many injured, especially after an incident where one of the neo-Nazis drove a car through a crowd of anti-fascist protesters. One common misconception I would like to face is anti-fascist isn't necessarily the people in black and red with their faces covered. Though those are the people that carry the flags, anti-fascist is pretty much anyone who fights against white supremacists, neo-Nazis, sexist, racist, xenophobic, Islamophobic, blah blah blah, would say what have you, be they carry the red and black flag or not. So it's pretty much this whole community of anti-fascists, including faith leaders, community leaders, healthcare providers, so on and so forth, what have you, versus white supremacists. This whole side over here is anti-fascist, and then this whole side over here is going to be the white supremacists, neo-Nazis, KKK, whatever individual label, what have you. Much solidarity and much love and support to the anti-fascist community of Charlottesville, keeping their community clean from white supremacy and neo-Nazis. And my condolences to the families and friends of the so far 3 reported people that have been killed. On the anti-fascist side, of course. And there's a huge issue with, 1, why this isn't being called domestic terrorism, and 2, some shitty speech Trump made. I've already figured out that we have many more shitty speeches to come because Trump is a shitty person, so I don't really care about that. But what I do care about is the lack of proper acknowledgement to what this is. When Americans do things to intimidate and threaten each other, it is an act of domestic terrorism, just like it is with anywhere else. It doesn't matter where these people come from or what their skin color is. If they are committing crimes against other Americans to threaten them with their agenda that supports violence and hate against others, it is domestic terrorism. And so far, we are time and again having the issue of the media ignoring this obviously very proper label for these events. I don't expect things to change overnight with how people are going to be represented in this, because there's always going to be certain people against certain other people, and that's going to be what the media likes to fuel on. But I feel like a lot of us know better. There are a lot of people out there calling this domestic terrorism and aren't waiting on mainstream media, local news, international news, national news to do so. We know it's local terrorism, and that is what is important. It is important that we do not fall prey or victim to what the mainstream media wants us to believe. And as long as we have that, we will always know what to fight and figure out how to fight it and properly come together to fight it. And that is what's important. It is important to be able to think for yourself. Now, I'm not anyone to tell someone else what to think. This channel, these videos, these are my points of view. And sometimes I do express a narrow vision of maybe how I think people should think. Being an imperfect, fallible human being, I make blanket statements and blind assumptions just like everyone else. But we are talking about something that is not nearly as blind. We are not talking about assumptions. We are talking about a group of people that encourage and promote violence against people for no logical reason, coming into a place where people obviously don't agree with that and antagonizing them and even killing some of them when they show that that kind of behavior is not tolerated in their community. There is nothing assuming about that. And I do hope that y'all take those white supremacists down, and I hope that y'all have plenty of street medics and hospital facilities and loving and supporting community of each otherness words to be able to fight them off with as less bloodshed and less lives taken as possible. That's all I'm going to say about this. I know that like a few other things have happened, but really the only other thing on everyone's mind at this point is Japan and North Korea over Guam, and that is not subject matter for this series. But y'all show those motherfuckers what's for, right? Keep fighting, Charlottesville. I love y'all. Take care of yourselves and each other. And the only good fascist is one punched in the face.